But we're never stopping working, baby. You ready for our spoiler talk?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm really excited. Spoiler warning for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let's just talk positives, though.
Okay.
Now that we can talk spoilers. The action, as I said, is phenomenal. What I've been wanting to say is, God, the way that they shoot Spider-Man when he's upside down is so fucking cool. That the camera moves with him and not like what we're used to seeing. Like, we're used to seeing Spider-Man running upside down and he looks upside down to us, but we're watching him right side up and everything else is upside down. I thought that was so creative. I thought that was so unique. I thought it was so cool, so consistently.
Yeah, one of the best things about the fights is, like I said, how consistently they happen, but also just how often it is at least slightly creative. It's not just him webbing a guy up or punching them. He, in the hand fight, I think the shot that you're specifically referring to maybe is he's up on a thing and he flips upside down and starts fighting them on the roof. And when he does that, the camera goes like that.
It's awesome.
I was like, oh, good. That's what I like. And he's using the webs constantly. To do stuff. The fight with Hulk, obviously, when he's going in and out of the building and wrapping Hulk up and then using the shocker glove, that was interesting. So yeah, I think it was very creative, and like we mentioned earlier, it's very Insomniac Games. He's flipping people up, taking them down.
There's an opening fight where he's like webbing a bunch of goons.
Yeah,
and like that's just the Insomniac gameplay. Like he's got somebody.
He's like on a rooftop, and one of them gets knocked off of a rooftop, and he has to catch them. Like that happens in the Insomniac game.
Yeah,
when he's breaking into the damage control facility at the end.
Yeah.
He does the whole stretch thing.
Yeah.
He knocks someone up and
does
like a front flip kick thing. Like, so yeah, it was all very good.
Yeah. Like I said, biggest highlight of the movie for me. Speaking of biggest highlights of the movie for me, the specific sequence, we'll talk about the Hulk scene in more detail in a minute, but the specific sequence of Hulk is chasing him through a hallway, that is my favorite scene in the entire movie. Now, to my knowledge, it is shown in the trailer. I don't know how much of it is shown in the trailer, but I do know that the clap was shown in the trailer. But all of that, like he's webbing him up and he's running and he's like trying to hold him back, but he's not, and all that, like the way it's shot, the way he's trying to break through walls and everything, it was so exhilarating. It was so exciting. Like I said in my Fantastic Four comparison in the non-spoiler portion of this review, like that was the space sequence for me with Spider-Man Brand New Day. I thought that was so exhilarating, so exciting. That was the pinnacle of the movie for me. Another thing we have to talk about with the action, like literally there were moments in Spider-Man Brand New Day where I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh, Andrew's loving this. Him saving the civilians
from the tank.
From the tank especially. He's saving this guy. He's getting this crowd of people out of the way. He's grabbing this kid. You okay? And the kid's like, you're okay. All that stuff. I knew that was some of your favorite stuff in the movie.
And the moment at the end with the tank that I'm talking about is when it flips and goes into the damage control building. It was very, very TASM 2 slow-mo saving people. Still not as good as the TASM 2
Times
Square fight, I think, but Tank is flipping over like this, and he webs this way to swing this way, and then throws a webbing down and like throws 4 people out of the way of the tank. That was probably like my favorite like action thing, because like you see Spidey doing something, saving people with webbing. Oh, it was awesome. Oh, it was great. Got a lot of MJ and Ned stuff to talk about.
A lot of it.
And Brand New Day. What did you think about it?
This is my note I have written bar for bar. Somehow in the movie that Ned and MJ don't know Peter, this is the movie where their chemistry is at its best.
Who? MJ,
Ned, Peter.
Yeah, there are
the scenes with Peter and Ned, the scenes with Peter and MJ, the scenes with the three of them. This is the best they've ever had it. They're better in this one than No Way Home. I think that like I buy MJ and Peter a lot more as a romantic couple in No Way Home than I do in Far From Home. I buy it a lot more in Brand New Day than I do in No Way Home. And they're not even together. But they've got a scene where they're flirting with like behind a curtain. And she's talking about her boyfriend. Oh, he thinks I'm too detached from reality or something like that I don't share enough with him. He's like, do you think that way? And like, it's so cute. It's so good.
Yeah.
You buy it so much.
Yeah.
So I did want to say that.
My note is MJ and Peter still have such great chemistry. I agree. And then obviously
I think it's better though in this than No Way Home.
It's just different. It's
It is
different.
but it's cute because it's
gr-
flirtier. It's the thing we didn't get in Far From Home or Homecoming. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, we get it some in No Way Home.
But No Way Home, they're already together. Like, this is kind of like they're flirting. Maybe
Yeah.
they're going to be a thing.
So yeah, obviously coming off of No Way Home, the big question is what they were gonna do with MJ and Peter with the memory thing, and they don't really give you a conclusion on that in this movie. They leave it a little bit open ended, and so that begs the question: are they going to come back to it? And we can talk about specifics because it's spoilers. So, she finds the letter. They talk. And
Wait. We can't gloss over that. That is the second or third best. That's the second best scene in the movie for me, other than the Hulk fight moment I just described. When he gets back to the boat and she's sitting there with I was like, oh, what a great scene.
yeah.
Like, just the setup of it alone is fabulous.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that to happen because they show him having the letter out before he leaves.
Oh,
And
I didn't clock that.
I was like, oh, she's gonna find it.
Good for you. I didn't clock that at all.
So they basically leave it with she knows.
Yeah.
That doesn't like undo the spell or anything. But the interesting thing was the handshake at the end. I thought that was a perfect little wrinkle where they leave it open ended, but it's like still kind of in there.
That's in my question segment of leaving this movie. Does Ned actually remember Peter?
I don't know.
There's no fucking way.
No, I think the delivery of the line Peter could have gone. I'm sure they filmed like 500 different versions of it being like.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I think it should have been more of like a Peter, like a interesting, but he kind of said it more of like a Peter.
He says it like he recognizes him.
Yeah, which I don't think he does, but
Does he recognize that that's Spider-Man because of MJ mentioning
maybe.
Peter earlier in the movie? He's
Maybe.
like, Spider-Man's name is Peter. I don't know. I don't care. That was such a big question mark leaving the movie. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I think it would be dumb if the handshake triggers the memory.
No, I don't think it does. But the fact that his body just kind of takes over and he does the handshake. I mean, that's a through line through all of the original trilogy with him.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really, really cute. And it kind of, it takes the movie from kind of giving you MJ and Peter and kind of giving you them and then not really, and then kind of leaving it on we see this. Like, I'm afraid that they're not going to come back to it, which I think would be a mistake, obviously. But her sitting on the rooftop where they had their conversation in No Way Home, right? Where.
Yes, I liked that a lot. I was waiting for him to show up, though.
Yeah, so she was sitting there and he was sitting on another rooftop and they kind of show them not looking at each other, but both looking into the distance and then the handshake thing at the end.
It's a Revenge of the Sith thing.
They start the movie with it kind of being open-ended and they leave it being a little open-ended, but they've made some progress.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It is also bothersome that they had like a telepath in the movie and you keep thinking like, oh, well, obviously this is going to cross over. The whole point is they have a telepath and then they have someone who has memory problems. Like, oh, this will help. They've kind of written themselves into a corner where it's like either you have to reverse the spell, or they just have to start over. The three options are reverse the spell, they start over, or they're just friends or acquaintances.
I was really open to. I liked the scene on the boat where she's like, I don't love you. Like, I don't know you. And then she's like, she does the Gamora thing where she's like, I understand why she loved you. She never says, but that's not me. I kept waiting for that line. But that's where I saw that scene going. Like, where it was like, we're done. And then I thought, oh, we're never going to see Zendaya again. But then she's like, can you bring me back? And then she brings him upstairs.
God, that was such a good scene.
And then she draws him and Ned. And then I'm like, oh, so we are going to do this. And that confused me a little bit.
Yeah, it's
a great scene. I agree with you.
It's a great scene, and obviously the chemistry. That's the chemistry scene that you're talking about, and the writing.
That's what I'm raving about.
And then obviously that drawings by his bedside at the end. So they're giving you bits and pieces, and it feels like I said, like they wrote themselves into a corner because those are the three options, and they didn't really pick any of the three options, and we still don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So is Tom just not going to have a love interest ever? Is MJ just going to continue to be in the movies and kind of be this half love interest, half not? Like, Ned kind of knows who he is with the handshake, but like, so it's still just a little, overall, I like the MJ and Ned stuff because they didn't completely write them out, and they obviously also didn't dive into one of those particular three answers fully. But I'm glad that they were in the movie, and I'm glad we got their chemistry. I thought that maybe in that scene where she was like, I don't know you, I thought she was going to follow that up with, but I'm open to it. You know?
Oh, you were thinking the opposite
Yeah,
of me.
I thought she was I thought she was going to hit him with a, you know, I don't have any memory of you.
But you seem like a nice guy, and you're hot.
Yeah, but that's kind of is what happened, because as soon as she drops him off, she invites him up. So obviously she is somewhat interested. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I like how they handled it.
All right, moving on from MJ and Ned. One of my biggest positives about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Florence Pugh continues to be the
She's
modern
so
day
good.
Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. She is the glue keeping all these projects together, and she's exceptional at doing it. This was her 4th appearance since Endgame, and I'm so much looking forward to her 5th in Doomsday.
Yeah.
She is so good. She is so likable. She is so funny. Funniest moments in the movie for me are with her.
Yes.
I mean, we were right, by the way, and you were like, she is not going to be naked in this movie. There's not going to be an awkward naked scene. There was.
But
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's so good. Her role in the movie is good. Again, the MCU being the MCU.
Yes.
Because, like, yeah, Bruce Banner's in it, but, like,
Sure.
not really. Like, she's like, this small potatoes, new Avengers is big
potatoes. Yeah. So good. She's
What
hilarious.
was the line later in the movie where she's on the computer and she's like, this seems mincemeat to me?
Well, later she's like, the potatoes are getting bigger.
Yeah, it's
Or whatever.
so good.
No, she's hilarious. She's great in everything she's in. And like, yeah, you said it does feel MCU. You get the Punisher, you get Bruce, you get Hulk. It seems like it's all connected.
Yep.
We get an end credit scene, which we'll talk about.
Yep.
Also, like, one of the big complaints in Doomsday is like we don't care about these characters, and that's true for a lot of them.
I love Yelena.
But there are some that they have handled correctly, like Yelena, who has been in Thunderbolts, who has been in Black Widow, who has had cameos in Hawkeye and in this, where she's great in everything.
Yep.
We don't need obviously we need another whole movie with Shang-Chi and some people, but like the only real whole movie she's had is like Black Widow, where she's secondary to Natasha, and then Thunderbolts. But like, just this like 6 minutes of screen time that she has in this movie is enough to make it feel like the MCU and make me like really want her to be in Doomsday a lot.
Yep. If she's the main character of Doomsday, genuinely gonna be thrilled.
Yeah, that would be great.
She is so good. She's so good. She's so funny. She's so likable. I buy her so much in the fucking role. She's so good.
That's great. I didn't have her written down. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Next positive, you just brought him up. Jon Bernthal, Tom Holland have great chemistry as Punisher and Spider-Man. They are responsible for also some of the biggest laughs for me. I mean, I think there's a lot of great laughs between them. I do think it's interesting. Bernthal's Punisher, he gets stuff to do in this movie. He's in the movie actually a lot more than I thought he would be. They do some emotional stuff with him. Don't know how much I buy it.
Like what?
They do the family thing briefly, which I appreciated, and I think they do it as well as you could have done it, but obviously it's not nearly as good as the development it gets in the Punisher special or Daredevil Season 2. Not saying it needed to be, but this is a lot of general audience's introduction to Jon Bernthal's Punisher, and maybe it wasn't good enough a little bit. Just, we're not talking about my family. I just wish we could have gotten something a little bit. But then the thing at the end with him crying about him, didn't quite buy that. I think I buy him, I think in the ending scene in the hospital, which is some of the best stuff in the movie, but from Punisher's perspective, I don't buy it too much. I buy him shooting him and feeling awful about it and rushing him to the hospital. I don't think I buy him sitting there the entire time. I don't know if it's implied if he's there the entire time or he was there and left or something like that, but I don't know if I buy that.
Why not?
It's character development that we haven't seen from Jon Bernthal's Punisher. Personally, for me, in my opinion. Like, that doesn't seem like the same guy we've had. To me. Like he does nice things for Daredevil, but he never does something that nice for Daredevil. Personally,
has he ever killed Daredevil? Basically,
yeah, he shot him in the fucking head, and then he spends like an hour and a half yelling at him.
How does Daredevil live?
He's got the mask.
He's got the mask.
Yeah, he's wearing the mask.
So it doesn't kill him.
No.
Okay. Okay, well, that was my point. He shot...
But he kills people all the time.
He doesn't... Not Spider-Man.
I don't know. I don't buy the crying too much. That's just my thought. It makes the movie better, but I just don't know how I feel about the characterization.
I mentioned this in non-spoilers. In Brand New Day, Peter being a good person is forefront, I think.
Yes.
He's obviously just all he wants to do is help people, and that's all he's focused on. And obviously he needs to learn how to balance that with Peter Parker. He can't erase Peter Parker entirely.
Bless you.
But even at the end, like as he's going through the metamorphosis, he's still trying to help. At the end, she has to literally talk him off the ledge of going to help the bank robbery because he still wants to help. And he's checking on everyone. He's checking on the guards, telling them they're doing a good job, like all of that. But then obviously the biggest one is the climax, which we're not getting into Jean yet. But going through everything that he's gone through and letting her into his mind to live some of the stuff that he's lived, and we'll get into that. And then obviously the sacrifice that he would
take the bullet for her.
He would take the bullet. Also, great Spidey sense scene, by the way. The way they shot that in that dark hallway where he was like not sure what it was. That was freaking awesome in the mind. So sick. But then to take the bullet for the character that you've been fighting this whole time is just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it was great. I'm so glad that was in there because Peter being a good person is what makes Spider-Man just the best. Is like how many times he sacrifices. So yeah, that was one of my favorite parts.
So we're talking about it. So I just want to hop right into it. We're talking about the Marissa Tomei scene.
Yes.
With Sadie Sink in his mind.
Yes.
And I agree with you conceptually. And as soon as, very early on in the movie, she jumps into his mind and we see Marissa Tomei. And it's official, she's back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see this movie. I'm going to see that scene later on because we knew that we were going to come back to that scene because, of course, why else would you have that in there? And we knew we were going to come back to that scene. And I'm like, I'm going to be a fucking basket case when they bring that back because Marissa Tomei, she really is one of my favorite things about that trilogy. You do not think it's cheap that they have done with great power comes great responsibility now 3 times with Tom, 2nd time in a row with Marissa Tomei. That took me out of that scene so much.
No.
I can't believe that. It's the 3rd time you've rephrased with great power comes great responsibility. That's the only thing that Spider-Man has to say. You can't just have her say something about being a good person.
She does.
You can't have her make an analogy to Feast or something that she does or whatever the fuck. You can't have her make a comment about losing Ben. You can't have her do anything other than with great power comes great responsibility. That took me out of that scene so much. I
think you're being a little bit too harsh on it. I think, yes, she does say responsibility. She says something about responsibility. Like
she fully says great power comes great responsibility. Not bar for bar, but she says it again.
She says something with the word responsibility like early on in the speech, but I mean, you just said, why doesn't she say just be a good person? I think the entire rest of that speech is being like, people are going to treat you bad, like blah, blah, blah. And like, you still need to be a good person. Like that's what the whole rest of the speech was to me. So like, yeah, it kind of started with that, but there's more.
But it ends with great power comes great responsibility.
I don't remember it ending with it.
And I was just like, really? We're doing that?
Okay, well, I'm sorry that bothered you, but in my opinion, that was the best scene in the movie.
Really?
Jean Grey, the shot of obviously Peter sitting on the bed, and then it kind of panning, and then it's Jean sitting in his place, listening to this character that was such a focal point of the last 3 movies, and Peter sharing her with Jean after she's died in his mind after everything that Jean's gone through and Spidey understands. And then Spidey also sits on the bed with her and talks to her. And they share this moment of understanding of like, hey, we don't have to be the monster, even though, and he says, I'm sorry about your sister. And she says, I'm sorry about your aunt. Like using his trauma and everything he's gone through in the past 3 movies and this movie and allowing him to share himself with her to help her through this mental health thing and this trauma and this violence that she's going through, and the fact that she lost her sister, and the fact that she was literally sitting in his place, in his mind, in his memory, and getting a speech from Aunt May as the climax of the movie, I thought was brilliant.
You do not see a problem that somebody could have with them doing with great power comes great responsibility for a third time here?
Yeah, I understand it a little bit. I just think there's a little bit more meat to that scene than just them recycling. I didn't feel it was a complete recycle in that scene. I felt there was more to what she was saying than just, because with Spidey, with that, it's like you need to be a superhero. You need to be a good person, or like with great power. Like if you have what does he say in Homecoming? If bad things happen and I could have stopped it, like if there's a chance.
That's in Civil War, but yeah.
If there's a chance or a thing that I can do, I feel like I need to do it.
Yep.
And that's my responsibility. I didn't really get that. That was the main point of that scene.
I'm with you that it means 3 different things the 3 times they've said it. I'm just over it. I don't know. The scene partly didn't hit for me, and this is a perfect segue into what we've been avoiding talking all day, which is Jean Grey. I don't know how redeemable she is in this fucking movie.
Yes.
And that's something I don't buy as well in this scene, is Peter is so kind to her, and yes, that's so Spider-Man, to be so kind to the villain. But this is Jean Grey, so we have to look at this through the lens of the MCU. This is going to be a main player. This is Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. This is going to be a main player in the MCU going forward in Jake Schreier's X-Men movie. She may be the main character. And I don't like her very much. She does some fucked up shit in this movie.
Yeah,
and the excuse is I'm looking for my sister. I don't care. Like, that's not good enough.
No, it's not. And my main question is, did they introduce her to evil? Like, I know Jean is a very gray character.
Yeah.
And she
does a lot of bad stuff.
She does a lot of bad
stuff. With the Phoenix and all that.
I get it. But if she's going to be a mainstay character, to introduce her in her first movie, this evil in the world and to the audience, it is questionable. And especially at the end, I do agree with you. This is one of the reasons why I want to watch it again, because I think they do certain things where, like when she breaks into the vault and John shoots those 2 guys, they purposely show that they're still alive.
Yes.
So I want to go back and watch and see if they do that throughout the movie, like if she's avoiding killing people.
She walks an elderly man into oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
She fully does that.
Yeah.
Like for Aura, by the way, just to be like, look what I can do.
Yeah. That's a big problem.
You're
right.
And to me, that is not the worst thing she does in the movie. What she does to Peter with MJ on the roof is so unforgivable. Can you imagine being Peter in that? I straight up do not buy him forgiving her for that.
Yeah, that's a huge problem.
I don't buy it. Like he has this unbelievable emotional moment where, like you said, he invites her into his mind and shares May with her, and they have this scene where he's like, "You would have loved her." She does way too many evil things in this movie, and a lot of us were like, "It can't be Jean Grey. Jean Grey can't be the main villain. It has to be Mr. Negative. It has to be the Hand. It has to be the..." No, it is 100% Jean Grey the entire movie. And so it's like, yeah.
No, I think that's a good point, because when it happened, I had the thought, I was like, okay, that's why I wrote it down. Did they introduce her to evil? And that's why I was going back and thinking through scenes. I was like, okay, maybe I just saw that wrong. Maybe she wasn't as evil. No, she literally just, what she did on the rooftop was terrible.
Awful.
What she did to that guy, I mean, she unleashed the Hulk. The tank was throwing cars everywhere.
Absolutely. The tank kills people 100%. The Hulk kills people 100%. And I just keep coming back to it. she makes out with him, acts as though MJ can remember him, and then is like, yeah, Peter, hold her, feel her.
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
Does that, and then throws her off of a building. Like,
yeah, none of that was necessary to finding your sister, by the way.
none of it. Like, it's and the flashback that we get with her is really sad. Like, really sad that her sister mind controls her to go away from the situation. All that is really good. All of it is really sad. But it's like, she is, and it's a good origin story for a villain. Like, I'm buying it if she's a villain.
The scene where she's looking like this, being tortured the same way her sister was being tortured, and she sees VMAX and understands that was my sister's last thought that she broadcasted to me, and she died right here. Unbelievable origin story. I love that part of it. But yeah, like, I feel like you could do this whole movie and have her do all of these things without, straight up murdering innocent people.
It comes back to the John Bernthal thing I brought up. I think that Jean Grey rooftop scene with Zendaya and Tom Holland is phenomenal. It's phenomenally acted. Zendaya gives a hell of a performance as evil Sadie Sink. Like, I love all that stuff. I just like, to service the movie and make the movie better, it does make the universe worse. Like, how am I going to... I do not buy this woman, as I do not like this woman.
Yeah.
When she gets the ending where she's, like, going off, I'm like, fuck her.
In terms of Jean Grey, obviously, I love the moment with Aunt May at the end. I think Sadie Sink's acting was pretty solid.
She's great.
Especially at the end, when we get her full range, basically. And I really love the scene of the revelation or the birth of her extra powers after VMAX, because I think the VMAX thing really, really hit, because the whole movie she's looking for VMAX, it's VMAX, and then she realizes again that was my sister's last thought, and that you kind of see the visual representation on the screen of her brain like evolving and unlocking other things, and then it goes from, oh, I can only just jump from people to people with telepathy, now I have telekinesis and I can control objects with my mind. And then I thought that was really cool. I thought it was shot well. I thought her surrounding her with this like weird shapes to kind of trigger her thing, and then the way that it explodes and the glass and the way people are frozen, I thought it was all shot really well. I thought it looked interesting, the visual representation and revelation of her powers. That was one of my favorite scenes.
Hulk's sun's getting real low again, but it's actually the worst one ever. This is the one that it makes the least amount of sense to me, except Brave New World, which is an exception, which is obviously the worst one. But like with actual Hulk, who is a nicer guy than Red Hulk, so remove the Red Hulk scene. This is like, we were promised proper Rage Hulk, but he's just mind-controlled Smart Hulk for 70% of the fight. And then when we finally get...
I think he's Rage Hulk longer.
I didn't feel that way.
When Punisher shows up, are they still fighting Smart Hulk? I don't think so.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But anyways.
Okay, he's Smart Hulk for longer than I expected him to be. Now, that made sense because she couldn't mind control Hulk, but she could mind control Smart Hulk, and that was interesting to bring out Hulk. But, dude, the fight is 5 minutes long, and for him to go sun's getting real low essentially is what he does. Yeah, that.
I thought they were going to explain it away a little bit with having some explanation of like Hulk, because people were saying this because he's Professor Hulk or whatever, maybe the spell wouldn't bother him, or like Hulk could actually remember him or something. So when he says it's Peter, I thought they were going to like really hammer home that this was somehow Bruce and Hulk could still remember him, and they were going to use that as a reason for why it would work. But
have they ever interacted? Hulk and Peter? Because they don't interact in Infinity War.
Not that we see, I guess.
They don't interact in Infinity War because he gets beat at the start of Infinity War, and then he's never Hulk again, and then he's Smart Hulk, and then...
No, so either way,
yeah,
I thought that's what they were going to do, and they kind of didn't. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. I think they should have let the inhibitor chip work. That should have been how we defeated him. Science.
Sure.
But we had the explanation right there. Science, inhibitor chip. Like, that was the whole thing we were doing for the last 30 minutes. And then it was just, oh, your thin skin's too thick. Which makes sense, but I think we should have just let it work. Because that would have been cool. Because that was the scene where we were going in and out of the building really fast and tying him down, and then we
Yep.
landed on him.
I
Put it on
love
him.
the action scene, like I said, but
No,
I was pissed. What were you thinking in that moment?
Alex is gonna be pissed.
We'll move on from there because I have other questions. Yeah, will MJ and Peter get back together?
Yeah, I asked you that earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that. They've got a few avenues that they can go, and they didn't really choose one. I think they might avoid trying to answer the question as long as possible. I mean, if they weren't going to have them be a part of Peter's story from here on out, they shouldn't have had them in this movie. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
No Way Home was the way to leave them.
I agree.
And they made a decision not to do that. So if you bring them back for one movie, have them in this movie, have her find the letter, have them do the handshake, have them have that scene in the apartment, and then leave them and never bring them back, I think that's a mistake. But I think it might happen.
I think there's no universe where we never see them again because the handshake is the last scene in the movie.
I know, but there's stuff like that happens all the time where in the next movie they just ignore it.
I don't think that would be smart. You know me.
I don't think it's smart, but I think movies do that all the time.
I was such a proponent of not doing this. Like, I did not want it to be an MJ Ned movie. I didn't want them to be in it at all. I think that the ending of No Way Home is so strong that I didn't want them to go back on that. Maybe because they went back on that is part of the reason why I am lower on this movie than you are and seemingly public opinion is. But yeah, I don't know if they'll get back together, but I'd be shocked if they weren't in the next one.
Here's the thing that might disappoint people, and we can end on this. There's no mid-credit scene.
Yep.
And there is one end-credit scene that's a little ambiguous.
So vague.
And there's nothing in this movie, which we considered that nothing in this movie would directly tie to Doomsday, but I did think there would be a pretty clear mid or end credit scene that did. Now, obviously, this end credit scene can.
Of course.
But again, it's pretty vague. There's nothing that got me like hype about like, oh, Doomsday's next in this movie at all.
So I disagree with that because I felt that way about the Florence Pugh scenes.
Oh, well, I mean, sure, but like that's
I
sort of just
agree
being
that we don't see the Fantastic Four ship arriving. We
Yeah,
don't see
exactly.
them calling him.
We don't see Dr. Doom talking to Franklin.
We need you for big potatoes.
Yeah.
We don't have that. I agree with you. But where I disagree with you is that after credit scene could be fucking massive.
No, 100%. What do you think it could be?
I don't think it's Doomsday. I think it's very clearly Secret Wars.
You think it's Miles?
Oh, you son of a bitch. I don't. But that's so interesting.
Could be. Or it could just be Spidey on Battle World or something like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we don't know. But I'm glad we at least got something that is leading into at least Doomsday or Secret Wars at least a little bit. It doesn't say, but we think that's probably what that means.
But that's a problem with the universe at large. That's not a problem with this movie.
All right, we love you guys. Thank you so much for everything you guys do.